good for everyone, because we can okay. So coming to the point, so we are talking about the beginning of the story. The story began like this. Pranasacharya was performing his daily rituals, and after performing, he was in his own house taking care of his wife. His wife is bedridden, ill, and he was giving medicine and other things. After puja, he also gives flowers and other things to his wife, that we say the water, holy water. Brahmins do all these things, and these things are going on. At that time, Chandri, Chandri is a character, female character, you can say, the prostitute, a prostitute belonging to a very extremely lower class, lower caste. Chandri is a character you will find has a lot of connection with Narayanpa and the main character Pranesachari. Later on, we'll find how Chandri is connected. But now, see, Chandri came to inform crying. Chan- okay, hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So Chandri came running to Acharya's house to inform that Narayanpa is dead. Okay, Narayanpa is dead. Narayanpa uh, has kept Chandri and had a living relationship with them. Chandri belongs to a category of prostitute. She is called a prostitute, and Narayanpa kept her with him in his house. And Chandri, everybody knew that in that area, in that locality, everybody knew that Narayanpa has kept Chandri, which is not allowed in the Brahmin community. According to the rules and regulations, Brahmins cannot have relationship with any other women except their wife. And here, if you know about Narayanpa, Narayanpa had a wife, but after that, he kept a relationship with another woman by nature who is a prostitute and who belongs to a very extremely lower caste, which is a sin in Brahmin community. But Narayanpa is a different kind of character. We'll discuss that. So the story begins like that. Narayanpa is dead, and Chandri is running, shouting, Acharya, Acharya, Narayanpa is no more. And when Acharya came to know, Pranes Acharya came to know that actually Narayanpa is dead, he went there and saw that Narayanpa lying dead. And Narayanpa suffered from a fever, a kind of fever, and suddenly he died. Okay, this is the beginning. And how Narayanpa was dead. And then the story moves like this. Then there was a question in the entire area, entire village, how the body will be cremated. Okay, so now the body has to be cremated. Who will cremate the body? Dead body. The question is that the very first question was, nobody was willing to cremate the body, because Narayanpa, now the flashback will come. Narayanpa was not at all a pure Brahmin. He ate meat, he had Muslim friends, he consumed alcohol, he had a relationship with prostitutes. Okay, he liked to smoke and do many other intoxications, like which are banned for the Brahmins. He never worshipped God. He does not chant any kind of mantras. and he also stole fishes, the sacred fishes from the temple pond. Okay, and ate that. The fishes which the villagers used to worship as the symbol of God in the village. There was a temple, and adjacent to the temple there is a pond which is treated very sacred, and there are fishes which are also treated as God. People used to feed them, and also worship those fishes. And Narayanpa once also went there and um, um, caught fishes from that pond and ate them with his Muslim friends. So now Narayanpa has not been excommunicated. Excommunicated means he has not been banished from the Brahmin community. He is still a Brahmin, though nobody likes him. And now he is dead. So nobody in the Brahmin community is willing to cremate the body, because he has caught all the connections, all the threads that connects Brahmins to each other. So in such a situation, Pranes Acharya was the leader of the village, of the Brahmin community. He is the leader. Leader, not because he is very aged, very experienced, because he has he has completed his education in Sanskrit, reading all the Vedas and Upanishads from Varanasi, and he has encountered a lot of Pandits of India and won debates from them. And he has won the title of being a very great Pandit. That is why, as he knows Shastra well, he knows all the rules and the regulations mentioned in the scriptures, in the Shastras that we say. People, all the Brahmins, irrespective of ages, they respect Pranesacharya. They treat Pranesacharya as head of them, knowing mostly most of the Shastras, and has all the answers to all the questions, of all the questions. Whatever questions you ask, he will give you the answer according to Shastra. Means what Shastra says is dharma. If you deny the Shastra, you are doing adharma and you will be punished. That is a sin. Pranes Acharya was thrown with the solution. The question was thrown to Pranes Acharya, and everybody said, "You say how the cremation will be done." So Pranes Acharya was in a dilemma what to do. Everybody, every member of the community, they complained against Narayanpa. He had done that, he had done this, he had ruined my family, he had killed my sister, he had killed my son-in-law. Many, all the Brahmins had different kind of complaints against Narayanpa. And his own relatives also, they had a lot of complaints. They said that the lands that their predecessors had, regarding that they have a lot of fight, and Narayanpa had cheated them, like that. So many, all of the Brahmins, they denied to cremate the body. And according to Shastra, what Pranasacharya said, that the body of a Brahmin cannot be cremated by any other caste people. That a Brahmin should cremate the body. Then who will cremate it? Whatever sins Narayanpa has committed throughout his life, he is no more a Brahmin in real terms. But still, the question arises whether the Brahmin community has excommunicated him, has thrown him away from the community, has banished him from the community. No. Okay. So that was the point. Pranasacharya said that Brahmin community has not left him. If he has left Brahmin rules and regulations, he has denied all the traditions, concepts of our tradition. He has forfeited all the guidelines, all the rules, principles we have established. But still, we have not banished him till his death. If he has been banished, then the things would be different. Anyhow, we have to cremate. A Brahmin has to cremate. Who will cremate? At this juncture, his wife, so-called wife, means we say Chandri, Narayan Pa's so-called wife Chandri, came with all her ornaments. As she was a prostitute, she had a lot of golden ornaments. She collected all the ornaments and poured in front of all the Brahmins while discussing how to do the funeral. She poured all the ornaments there. Looking at the ornaments, things went on in a different way. Okay. So at this juncture, at this point, Pranasacharya said, let me read the Shastra thoroughly, and there must be an answer to this problem. So the meeting was closed, but all the wives of the Brahmins present there, the Brahmins, the priest, that you can say, the Brahmins, those who were present, all their wives, they scolded their husbands. Why don't you take the chance and cremate the body? We will have so much of gold. We can repay our debt. We can buy new lands. We can do many things. They have a lot of dreams about the gold ornaments that Chandri had deposited for the sake of Narayan Pa's funeral. So all the Brahmins, they have started to think about the ornaments. They forgot about the rules and regulations. They forgot about their complaints a little ago. They were demanding that Narayan Pa should not be cremated by us in our village. So one by one, they came to Pranasacharya when he was searching through the Shastras. They came and they said, I will cremate. Another man came, Gunda, many names are there. They came and said, I will cremate, I will cremate, I will cremate. Everybody said that they will cremate, the gold should be given to them. So it is a very, means you can say, ironical situation created. A little ago, all were denying not to cremate, but now everyone is trying to cremate. Everyone is willing to cremate. So another situation is created. Again, Pranasacharya said, no, you cannot cremate. Let me find out the solution from Shastra. What Shastra says regarding this? A Brahmin who has gone away from the Brahmin community, who has broken all the rules and regulations of Brahmin community, what should be the case if he dies, how to cremate his body? That was the problem. I will search out definitely a solution from the scripture, from the Shastras. So he went on searching and searching. He could not find anything. The body started to rot. The dead body, how long it will remain the same? It was not the present time that you will keep it in a ice room, that the body will remain the same. The body started to rot. A lot of vultures started to hover around the village. They started to sit on each and every houses of the village. The vultures, they came with the smell of flesh. Okay, rats, that is a symbolic. Rats started to die. So many things happened all together, and there was no solution to the question. So in the meantime, what happened? When Pranasacharya could not find a solution, he went to another temple on the hilltop. There was a temple of Maruti, the monkey god Hanuman. There was a temple. He went there. He said he will spend the day and night, and definitely he will come with a solution. So he spent the whole day, and he was about to spend the whole night also. So when he became failure in getting any solution to the problem, he returned on the in the night. He was returning. He came across Chandri on the way, and Chandri was very hopeless at that time, that the body is rotting, and everybody is in their own way, own self. Nobody is caring about how to cremate the body and perform the rites. So out of overwhelming situation, emotions, she hold the leg of this man, Pranasacharya, tightly. Okay, so before that, I should mention about Pranasacharya. Initially, I said Pranasacharya was a very good Pandit. Okay, he has married to a lady deliberately who was suffering from illness, and he deliberately married so that they may not have physical relation. So in the lifetime, he is now 40 years old. For long 40 years, he has never come across physical union. Though he is married, still he is deprived of the pleasure of physical union. Okay, he has never come across such kind of thoughts also in his mind of sensuality, of sexuality. Okay, so that is because that he wants to get moksha. Okay, the main reason behind it, deliberately he married. He never remarried in spite of his wife's proposal that you remarry and have a child. He always denied that, only because that performing duties of a Brahmin properly and doing all the things right, okay, he can attain salvation, moksha. That was his intention. That is why very rigidly he was following, rigorously following the rules and regulations of getting salvation, the Brahmin community. So now when Chandri is a very gorgeous lady, a very not very healthy, but healthy kind of lady with full of gorgeous look, a very beautiful, charming lady. You know how prostitute used to decorate them. So Chandri was also not an exception. She was very much attractive. Any young man can be attracted by Chandri's simple um, appearance. In the first appearance, anyone can get attracted. Most of the Brahmins in the village also, they are very much jealous of Narayanpa, and they have inherent desire of enjoying Chandri. Though Pranasacharya was different, he was a pure Brahmin. He has never violated any kind of any bit of Brahmin rules and regulations. So he was very he's a true Brahmin. Okay, but now when he was returning from the temple of Lord Hanuman, he found that Chandri was also present there, very impatient when exactly the body of Narayanpa, her husband, will be cremated. Being overwhelmed with emotion, she fell down and hold tightly the leg up to the thigh. She hold like that, though she had no such intention to excite or to create erotic feelings in the body of Pranasacharya. Nobody, no women can think of that, because Pranasacharya was in such a level. But Pranasacharya, who has never enjoyed this physical union, being a little weakness towards Chandri, and in a situation like this, it is night, nobody was there, and the lady holding him tight like this changed his mentality. He forgot everything, all his means whatever he has done throughout his life, everything became a complete blank in his mind. He forgot everything. So when he opened his eyes after a while, when he came back to reality, he realizes that he had been sleeping on the lap of Chandri. Okay, the union, physical union, has been already established, and he has taken the banned food that the Brahmins are not allowed to eat, that Sudras and the lower class people used to eat. He has eaten a lot of those food from the hands of Chandri, a very extremely lower caste lady, a prostitute, and now he found himself sleeping, and Chandri was fondling his face. So this is the situation. Everything changes from here. Okay. So Pranasacharya left the village. He bathed a long time in order to means remove the stain that doing all these things, which is banned in his society. He did a lot of things but could not. His wife in the meantime died, and when his wife died, so he left the village. Okay, and here he also informed the villagers that he got no answer from Maruti, the god Maruti, and the villagers went to another Pandit Swamiji, quite long, which will take 5 days for them to go and return. For 5 days they went, and after consulting Swamiji, they came to know that anyone, any Brahmin can perform, and there is no sin. So when they returned, two of them died after a journey of so long distance, that old kind of persons, they died. According to tradition, they cannot eat, they cannot pray, they cannot perform anything during this kind of period when a corpse is dying, somebody is dead, and the cremation has not been performed. The last rite, the sanskar, is not done. So you have to stop eating. You cannot eat, you cannot worship, you cannot do anything auspicious. So, in such a situation, without eating and going such a long distance, they, some of them died. Okay, so the village, the persons are dying and dying. Vultures are moving here and there, and the body of Narayanpa was completely rotten or about to means was rotten already. Other other Brahmins are also dying. In such a situation, Pranesacharya left the village, and he met with another person on his way. That is, the name of the person is Putta. 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 So Putta
Say
is
once again.
also Putta. Putta.
Yes.
And Putta is the most important character after Pranasacharya. Narayanpa is also important, but if you, after the novel is discussed, you will find Putta becoming again more important than Narayanpa. When we talk about a contradiction between orthodoxy and life. Okay, so this is how Pranasacharya met with Putta. So Putta was going to a fair. Okay, Putta was going to a fair in Melis town. In the Melis town, there was a fair. Putta was going, and he needed a companion to chat. He was a very chatty kind of person. He says only and needs one listener all the time. So that is why Putta got Pranasacharya on the way. He does not know Pranasacharya, so that's why he started talking to him. But Pranasacharya has something else going in his mind. He was not in a sense to listen to Putta's words. Anyhow, Putta went to the fair with the priest, with the Acharya. They enjoy, means Putta enjoyed the fair, and Pranasacharya was moving here and there without enjoying anything. Uh, Looking at all the lower class people selling things and doing things there in the fair, he was very much conservative. He tried to keep himself aloof, segregated from the persons available, means present in that fair. Anyhow, uh, he came out of the fair and wanted to return to his village. Okay, when he returned to his village and tried to return, in the meantime, Chandri wanted to search for the Acharya again. Chandri searched Acharya. Acharya, she found Acharya nowhere. She found that the wife of Acharya is not present in the room. She then went to Kundapura, another village of the lower class people. He went there and asked for help in order to cremate the body. They also denied, as the body belongs to a Brahmin community, that will be seen for the Sudras to cremate the body. So they denied. Then Chandri went to Muslims. Some Muslims, with the help of some Muslims, Chandri herself secretly cremated the body, and Chandri also left the village. Okay, and after that, Pranasa Acharya set
Came
on
back.
a bullock cart and returned to the village. That is the end of the novel. And you do not find whether Pranasa Acharya actually revealed the truth to the villagers or not. That is a question mark left to the reader. That is a story in brief. If you watch the movie or read the text or go through the summary, you can understand. So
That
now we will
movie's
come to
name's
the,
also, sir, Samskara.
sorry,
Sir, that movie's name's also Sanskara.
samskara. Yes. Okay. So now we will talk about the analysis part. So samskara was translated into English by A.K. Ramanujan. I have already told you. The original title was Sanskara, a dead man, but translated title became Samskara, a rite for a dead man. Rite means R-I-T. Rite means ritual. The the meaning of samskar is also the same. We also say Antima Sanskar. In Odia also we say Antima Sanskar. That is the samskar. Means that you, the ritual by which you can complete all the kind of activities related to the funeral, and after that we believe that the body will go to the heaven. Otherwise, the soul will go down to the hell. That is our concept. We believe in soul and heaven and hell, and that is why, according to religion, we have to perform the burial, the funeral. We have to bury the body or put the body on fire, so that we know the system of funeral. So that is the samskar. This is the title. That is the samskar in actual meaning. Okay. Uh, Even at 3:45 also students are there. Anyhow, an effect.
Terminated means क्रियाकरण है क्या? Yes.
Mute, kindly mute your
हाँ.
audio. Okay, so coming to the analysis part, this is very long. I don't know whether time will be sufficient or not. Anyhow, it is an effective tale of a community. The story is a tale of a community choked by, choke means and suffering by, choked by unsustainable tradition. The tradition which cannot be sustained, which cannot be continued. You cannot expect such tradition to continue. If the tradition continued, development will be hampered. The dead man is a living protest against orthodoxy. The dead man, Narayanpa, is a living protest. The body itself is a protest. The body rotten, and also along with the body, the samskar was also got rotten. Okay, so the body is a protest against orthodoxy, conservatism, the convention and customs of the Brahmin community. Orthodoxy, you understand, when blind beliefs and lot of conservative ideas when imposed on, that is called conservatism or orthodoxy. All the conventions, rules, and principles of Brahmin community, all these things were protested by the living, the dead body, the dead men. Okay, so the dead men protested, and because of that, you find a completely dismantled Brahmin community at the end of the story. Characters struggle between natural urges and social expectations. Natural urges, nature will force you to urge something. Body will means it is our physical need to marry somebody, have physical pleasure. That is the need of nature. That is natural urges, we say. But society expect you something else. Society expect you that if your wife is like this, if your wife is dead, you cannot remarry. If you remarry, the father of a daughter means uh, a candidate, a girl candidate will not be willing to remarry a boy if his wife is dead. So it's a very absurd kind of society. The society expects you to do that. If your husband died, a husband of a wife died, the wife has to be a widow. And when Sati Pratha was there, that was also an example of orthodoxy. You have to be burnt with the funeral pyre of your husband. What kind of tradition it was? Okay, it was in 1965, even after independence in the 20th century. The novel turns the world on the most unexpected pivot, gives an enduring human dimension. The inherent tension that undergoes the story of the novel is between work and grace, between your um, between your duty and your urges, necessity. Okay, you can compare this text with Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe, a Nigerian writer. If you've heard of Chinua Achebe, he has written Things Fall Apart. In Things Fall Apart, with the advent of Western culture, the culture of the that particular tribal area was shattered, destroyed. Okay, and it has two meaning. It has both the benefit and the losses also. Benefit is that they got modernized, and the loss is that they lost a very precious, a very rich culture. Anyhow, the same thing here also. We find there is the comparison because of that we find the Brahmin community is rich with culture. We have a lot of rigid, strict rules and regulations, but it's not always necessary. If you strict, if you strictly follow those rules and regulations, society cannot progress. Development will be hampered. You cannot progress in life. Your economical status, your physical growth, your societal expansion is completely impossible. Okay, this is a tale of existential suspense, a life and death encounter between sacred and the profane, the pure and the impure, the ascetic and the erotic. Ascetic means purity, pavitrata, auspiciousness, ascetic, and the erotic means sensuousness. Okay, and pure, impure, the same thing in different words only. The sacred and the profane, the same thing. Sacred is something very close to religion, and profane is against religion. Okay, so this is a suspense, existential suspense between life and death encounter between sacred and profane, and pure and impure, even between ascetic and erotic. We find religious extremism in the text also. Religious extremism is a very good theme that we find. That extremism means something which is more than um, uh, more than that you can endure. Extreme of something. Okay, religious is good, but religious does not mean that you can uh, impose something unbearable, irrespective of your ability to sustain, irrespective of your capability to withstand. So that is very important. Those who have not written down your names and enrollment numbers, kindly write down. So this is religious extremism. Religious extremism means when religion suppresses you the most with the rules and regulations, you cannot stand up, you cannot withstand. If you do not stand up, how can you move forward in your life? Okay, this is the focused area. Ritual is more important than humanism. Humanity is less important in this talk. A body is being rotten there. A lower caste woman went over house to house, here and there, community to community, person to person, praying and requesting everybody to perform the cremation, but nobody paid any attention. If somebody paid attention in a particular time, this is not because of somebody's because of kindness towards somebody. It is because of their greed for the gold ornaments. It's very important. We have very less time. We cannot discuss all these things. But the points I am saying, just remember and try to analyze. In this lesson, we find uh, about the trouble with prioritizing tradition over compassion. Prioritizing tradition over compassion. Compassion means the demand of your body, the necessity of your body. It is related to the physical need. And tradition is something related to religion, culture. Culture says that a Brahmin cannot have multiple relationships. Why? If a Sudra can have, your body demands that your wife, your husband is unable to give you pleasure. And when animals are free to enjoy pleasure anywhere, why human beings are not allowed? That is a question of humanism. Your body is yours, your pleasure is yours. Tradition, if guides it, if derives you of all these necessities of your body, that is, you can say, tradition is more prioritized uh, against compassion. So we also find at the end the Brahmin community getting decayed. Okay, samskar, I said, is a compulsory right given to all the Brahmin, not Brahmins only, to all the persons at their death. When they are dead, this samskar is given to them, a compulsory ritual. And this is the controversy of the novel. The main major controversy, the story roams around this particular controversy of rituals for a dead man, the samskar for a dead man. Okay, the author exposes their sins and shows how the erosion of their core values begins to disintegrate their traditional community. Erosion of their core values. Okay, core values or the traditions, you can say. Okay, the main principles of your community is called core values, the values of the culture that begins to disintegrate day by day. So the burning example is Pranesh Acharya himself. 40 years, 20 years of long, 20 years of 20 years of long practices, his you can say concentration, his determination, his attempt to attain the salvation, all these things went away the moment the opposite sex Chandri hold him tight. That means all these rules and regulations is nothing when we talk about our body, our physical need, ourself, our life, the pleasure of a life. Okay, this is very duplicity of the supposedly religious man. This is very important theme also. Duplicity, having dual identities. When the Brahmins, they say that Narayanpa did a crime having relationship with Chandri, they secretly have weaknesses towards Chandri. What kind of rule that is? When they said that we have to we have to produce our own meal, that is the duty of Brahmin. They should not depend on others' meal. Instead of doing anything, they became lazy and they depended mostly on the freely available meals when they go to any kind of puja, any kind of worship, when anybody invites them, they take away most of the meals that they will eat for several days. So what kind of thing this is? Okay. Uh, when meals are free, so you can say when they saw gold, they changed their mind. Okay, they denied to cremate the body, but the moment they saw gold, they forgot everything. So what kind of identity it is? What kind of religion they are talking about? What kind of Brahmin community they are proud of? Nothing. Everything is meaningless when we come to the term of life. We come to the term of need. So becoming a beggar, like living a very poor life, if you strictly grab at your tradition and culture, what does it actually mean? Nothing. When you do not get food, you do not get medicine, you cannot enjoy anything. So how can you think, how can you say that your tradition is great, your culture is great, but you are not getting 2 days, 2 meals a day? So this is something very important. Another point is spiritual crisis. There was a spiritual crisis everywhere, and Narayanpa is an example. Narayanpa enjoyed his life. He is an existentialist. If time permits, some other days I'll discuss about this existentialism. This is an existential novel. It may be a question also. Discuss samskara as an existential novel. So existentialism you have to understand. Then we can discuss how existential feature is there in this novel. Okay, Puta is a character I said introduced on the page of 101. The novel is of 138 pages, I said, but Puta is introduced in 101 pages, and he comes towards the end of the novel for only 37 pages. He is narrated, but becomes very important character when we compare. We posed him in contrast to Pranesh Acharya. Puta belongs to a very lower class caste, lower caste. Okay, okay, and he enjoyed his life. He went to the fair, enjoyed there, ate puffed rice, drank soda. But Pranayasacharya was along with was means roaming with Putta, but cannot touch anything in the fear that the person selling is a lower caste person. So the real charm of life was enjoyed by Putta. That is why Puta has been highlighted. Puta is very important character. He has lived his life to the fullest, but on the opposite, on the contrast, the protagonist of the novel, Pranasacharya, could not get anything in his life. Only once he got united with Chandri, and later on, when he thinks of again getting united with Chandri, he could not get the scope. Even if scopes may be present, but his inner heart denies him that you have already committed a sin, do not do it once again. So that is how you can see. Okay, the protagonist tortured himself to purify himself. He tortured himself throughout his life. He believes in Bhagavad Gita. Action is more important, not the fruit. Okay, a vast knowledge of the scripture did not help him to find out solution to the important issues: how to who will cremate, and how to control the temptation of Chandri. He could not get answer to these major problems we find in this novel. First problem is who will cremate, or how the solution related to cremation of Narayanpa, and the solution that he got attracted to Chandri, how to control that temptation. He could not find any solution because Shastra does not have that solution at all. This is a human body first, then the Shastras, we have made the Shastras. Okay, Puta is the symbol of God. Puta came to Narayan, means the protagonist, Pranasacharya, in the symbol of a god, and showed him all the way of enjoying life. But Narayan means Pranasacharya could not understand, could not recognize Putta, and uh, this is the novel. And again, Ramanujan says that the novel the novel ends, but does not conclude. It's not concluded because you cannot conclude it at time. At that point of time, there was still orthodoxy, conservatism, everything was present there. You cannot have a decision, you cannot have a conclusion at all. Okay, and how it is an existential novel, if time permits in any other classes, I will discuss, but today it's already time. We have to stop. Another class is there. Okay, if you have anything to say, one or two questions, if you can ask, otherwise we'll wind up. Anyone? So, okay, thank you very much. um, we will stop now.